Now, the following story is the reason why I think my ex-girlfriend is special. She told me that she never ever asked her mother for money or to buy her something. That's unusual. I relied on my parents all the time and never stopped asking them to buy things for me, whether it was toys or sweets. And even later on in life, when I got older, I got the money for my minicar, my second-hand minicar from my mother. Anyway, she said that when she was 3 or 4, her and her friend, on a Saturday, I think it was, Saturday or Sunday, they used to walk to market. Now, it was a long walk. I think they was walking for 3 hours. Don't forget, we're talking about small children here. So it would take them much longer to walk a mile, for instance, than it would me. But of course, it was much longer than a mile. Probably, I hate to think, but it took them, as I said, about 3 hours to walk it. But in Thailand, grown-ups and children alike all know by looking at plants what they can eat and what they can't eat. They know what's growing under the ground, which I don't. I can't even tell you if it's a potato plant. Anyway, what they did as they walked, they would stop at the roadside to pick certain herbs. So by the time they got to market, they had all these different herbs, and then they would get some of the grass, long grass, wrap it around the herbs, and then tie it so it would hold them together. They had all these little bundles of herbs. And then she would say, and her friend would say, only 1 penny, of course they didn't use the word penny, only 1 penny herbs. And they used to sell all the herbs they collected on their walk. Now, they would use a little bit of that money, not too much, to get a motorbike taxi back home, which didn't take long at all. Probably took 10 minutes or so, because they go very fast, these taxis. And 2 girls sharing 1 bike on the back, so they could afford it. Now, her half of the money, she would give everything to her mother. And during the week, her mother would give her money for some sweets, I think, and also for the bus fare, because they had to pay for the bus fare, you see. But also her mother would use that money to make her sandwiches to take to school. And I am just amazed. Every time I think of that story that she told me, I'm just amazed. And I have so much respect for that girl, really, because I've never heard of such a thing in all my life before. She's been busy working all her life, earning her own money. But of course, she relies on people like me, boyfriends, who can help her financially. Because the money they earn there is not enough. It's just like in England. If you're doing a menial job, you can't really earn enough at work to pay for accommodation and things like that, and food as well, and to go out and enjoy life. We're not talking about spending lots of money here. But yeah, it's the girls rely a lot on boyfriends. And that caused our breakup because she went to see this other fellow who she's been seeing before me, and she asked my permission. I said, yeah, no problem, because he was only there for a short holiday, I think 3 weeks. And she said, if I stay with him, I can get quite a bit of money from him, you see. So I said, that's a good idea. And but she couldn't bear to be away from me. And after a day or two, she came around unexpectedly and caught me with another girl, unfortunately. And that was the beginning of the end. But I'm glad we broke up. I wouldn't like to have a girl like that who's working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And 2 of those hours, she's not getting paid. That's typical of Thailand, working for nothing. No, I like, if I got a girlfriend, I like to see her most of the time. What's the point of a relationship? You can hardly see the girl. I mean, you go to sleep as well for 12 hours, 8 hours a night. So, oh no, it was almost work, 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 work. So I felt almost like a single fellow when I was with her. But I still love her to this day because just because we fall out, me and my girlfriends, doesn't mean to say I don't love them anymore. I love them for the same reason I've always loved them, their beauty and their intelligence. As I've already said, I went to pick up my girlfriend from her work, which I did virtually every night. As she didn't have her own motorbike. And this particular day, or evening should I say, she had a fear of dogs. Let me point that out first. Some of the girls do, for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's because they think that a dog have got that certain disease, which you can get, of course. But if you do get bitten by a dog which has that type of disease, as long as you get an injection within, I think, so many hours, maybe 24 hours or something, you're okay. Rabies, that's it, rabies. Anyway, I love dogs. So she was scared of dogs, which I find is odd because these people, as I said, they live in these shanty towns, sort of, and they live closer to life, to nature, than we do. So for me, it's strange behaviour. I can only think she picked it up from her parents, especially the mother. And of course, that will lead on to a child. And so we're on my bicycle this time, which was the butcher's bike with a big basket in front. Well, I took the basket out, and so she could just sit on I put a board across the thing, so she could sit on the board like a seat, basically, but her feet are dangling down at the front, on either side of the wheels, or the wheels, should I say. Anyway, when you're going through certain streets, there are quite a few dogs. It depends. And normally they don't like you coming into their private domain, just as we don't. I mean, if we find someone we don't know in our garden, we say, what the hell do you think you're doing? That's my land. You know, or you go into a different country. They want to show evidence that you got permission to enter that country. But of course, humans tend to ignore all those things. When we go into the land of other creatures, such as dogs, we tend to forget that that's their land we're entering, and we haven't got permission. So quite often the dogs will growl at you and come over as if they're going to start trouble, but they're really testing you, just like young teenagers in a group. They test you to see if you're a coward or not. If you're a coward, they're going to go after you because they don't want to get hurt, the teenagers. They want to hurt someone, to show them that they're the boss. But anyway, with the dogs, you've got to do the same thing. You've got to show that you don't give a damn. And you don't run away, you go towards them. And they get frightened and run away then, you see. Because a lot of those dogs, they're scared stiff. But they're all trying to prove to each other that they're tough when they're not ready. So, we're on the bicycle and I've gone down this street and there is a lot, I wasn't surprised, there is a lot of dogs in that particular street. And she's lost her head. She's on the front of the bike. I can't remember exactly. I mean, she's an intelligent girl, but at that point, she loses her head. And she's shouting. I'm sure she's shouting. She's, probably saying, "Go away, get back!" But instead of trying to get away from the dogs, I just went straight at them. So she's at the front of the bike, and we go straight at the dogs, and she's really losing it. But of course, the dogs dispersed. They ran away. They were scared. But afterwards, when we got home, she was so angry that I did that. And I tried to explain the situation, how the dogs behave and things. She wouldn't listen. And I've had that with other girlfriends that their feelings just take over and they don't listen to common sense. So I don't even try to argue the matter. There's no point if a person can't understand things. And I find the same thing happens in societies, including the English society. And quite often I don't argue the point, but I will be arguing certain points about the English society in future videos, because they do drive me mad when I watch it. It's so illogical, their behaviour. But I miss all my girlfriends. They all had different natures, different abilities, and all terribly intelligent. And yeah, I loved them all. We had a great time together when we were together. Well, I put some pictures in this video so you can see the girl with the Stetson hat who helped to break me and my girlfriend up. I've still got a phone number to this day, but I don't bother anymore because she doesn't look so good now. Oh well, that's life, huh? And just a reminder, if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. And the girl that she found me with, which started the breakup between the two of us, that girl, I saw her, I mean, she was about 19 at the time when I was with her, that girl, petite girl, and she used to wear a Stetson, like the cowboys do. And she looked great, because she really did. Anyway. About 4 or 5 years later, I couldn't believe how much she changed for the worst. I noticed her face getting round, and even she noticed it was getting round like a ball. But as she got older, it became even more so. And it really did become very round, like a football, her face. And her body had put on weight, so her legs had changed shape and everything. It was very sad to see such a beauty change like that. Well, you can wait for the next instalment to see what other interesting stories I have. I hope you enjoy my videos. I do, making them. I get to let out all these stories, all these things that I've done in life.